All right, peace family. So we're going to talk about strike nursing. My hospital that I am currently on travel assignment at has just completed I think it was like a 4 to 6 week long strike. When the hospital strikes, that means their staff nurses are feeling they're treated unfairly, and so they stop working, and the hospital pays for replacement staff to come in from all over the nation, pays for their plane ticket, their transportation from the hotel, the free hotel, to work, their meals, and I believe they make around $7,000 to $10,000 a week. As the staff nurses are fighting for what they deserve and relinquishing their paycheck, essentially, some staff nurses they pull from the 401k, their retirement funds, just to keep afloat. Mind you, they have bellies to feed, mortgages, just life in general, so bills to pay. It's an inconvenient thing that I stand by the nurses wholeheartedly. It's unfortunate they're not getting what they deserve. Like being a nurse and being in a place where it's always understaffed, and I'm not feeling I'm getting compensated fairly, or the help to keep the situation safe. Yeah, I just don't come from a unified hospital like that. So I'm hoping that they got everything they deserved and everything that they fought for, and then some. So strike nurses specifically, they may work like 6 days in a row, making $7,000 to $10,000 a week, and maybe have one day off and have to work another. Sometimes I've seen strikes as short as one day to as long as like 2 months, but those ones are typically open ended, so you don't know when they're going to end. Personally, I've never been on a strike. I tried to in 2025 for the big Oregon strike with doctors and nurses, the longest strike like ever, and they never chose me, so it is what it is. But being a traveler on a strike, while a strike is happening, they do bump your pay up, at least for my agency they did. But to sign up for a strike, you sign up just like on any travel nurse type of job. You're gonna just give your information to like either Aya, AMN, USN, and that's connected to like Fast Staff, True Staff, ProLink. So all of those can get you what you need. They're also considered workforce disruptions as well. So a recruiter will reach out to you, and then you go through that credentialing part where you send your certifications, your license, all the things, your pay, your background check, your drug test, all of that will be completed within about a 10-day notice from when the strike starts. That's typically when these agencies are giving out your strike notices in the first place. All this after they say, okay, we want to pick you for the strike, because you could do all the right things and they still not pick you because they may have picked people who are closer or people who are already in the state, wouldn't have to spend as much money flying out people from all over the world. They might pick people with more experience, with more beefed up resume, so make sure you have all of that in check and all of that looking good and chunky. Eventually they'll send you your flight information, and yeah, have fun on your strike. What people normally do is have a PRN or per diem job where they're originally from, so that way they have the flexibility to fly out and go do these strikes. Because honestly, anything could happen. The hospital could settle and you could then not have a strike contract anymore. You could literally touch down in the state and they can be, never mind, strike's over, we settled. That literally happened to me, and I'm a traveler. So yeah, well, except they pushed my start date back. But still, expect the unexpected. So having a per diem would be perfect. I see travel nurses do it while they're on travel assignments for like 3 months assignments. It's less flexibility, but you still can make some things shake. Strike nurses are very skilled, and they've been nurses, they have experience, and they can adapt. Being a traveler or a floater, you basically have a taste of that, but being a striker, like doing that, having like one day of orientation to learn computer system and learn like the unit and facility, and not having a preceptor necessarily, like it's that's some serious work. That sounds crazy. But if honestly, like for me, I feel like if you could do nursing one place, you could do it any place. Like you just have your basics down and you're gonna be fine. And it's gonna get easier every shift. But yeah, very skilled, very experienced. There are, of course, some nurses that slip through the cracks that don't know what the fuck they're doing, but I respect them still trying, and eventually they get it together. But again, I've never done a strike. That's just me experiencing strike nurses from being a traveler that was only working there for 2 weeks until they striked. So I was still fairly new, but they come in there with very little preparation, just all the things that they've learned from all the years that they've been doing nursing. And like, it's very admirable, and they've been really cool so far as well. So again, it's important to keep in mind these are nurses that, yes, they are making a lot of money, but they're still showing up for a community of sick people, travelers as well. So I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful that we have certain systems in place that can keep a hospital up and running even though their normal staff isn't there, so nurses can fight for what they deserve, not just the current staff, but for the future of that facility. You know, they're raising the standard. Yes, that is strike nursing. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I got you. I can help you. And yeah, that's 7 to 10,000 a week. I just want to point that's before taxes. So